What kind of father throws his only daughter out into the dirt like she means nothing? That painful question echoed in Lily Thornton's mind as she walked down the dusty road under the hot Colorado sun. Lily clutched her worn leather satchel tight against her side. Her father's harsh words replayed again and again. He had stood on the porch that morning, anger burning in his eyes, and told her she was nothing but trouble. He said she had done nothing but weigh him down since her mother died. The way he threw her belongings out the door like unwanted trash cut deeper than any wound. The ranch had struggled for years. Drought had dried the land and killed most of the cattle. But instead of leaning on his daughter for support, Jonathan Thornton had pushed her out. At just 20 years old, Lily found herself homeless, heartbroken, and walking alone toward the town of Silver Creek, with no plan except to survive. Her feet ached in her worn boots as she paused by a fence post to catch her breath. She wiped her cheek, leaving a streak of dust across her face. She had tried her whole life to earn her father's approval, but nothing had ever been enough. Her refusal to marry Tobias Richardson last year had only made things worse. Tobias was a man 30 years older, with a bad reputation and 3 deceased wives. Lily couldn't imagine tying her life to his, and her father never forgave her for turning him down. She lifted her head and stared into the distance. Silver Creek shimmered in the afternoon heat, still many miles away. Lily had heard the boarding house there sometimes hired help. She prayed they might take her in. She had nowhere else to go. Hoofbeats sounded in the distance. Lily stiffened. A lone woman on the road was never safe. She stepped to the side and kept walking, her heart tapping hard in her chest. Her fingers brushed the small knife hidden in her pocket. Her mother had given it to her before she passed, telling her to always protect herself. "Miss, are you all right out here alone?" A deep voice called. Lily looked up and saw a tall man on a strong chestnut horse. His wide-brimmed hat shaded his face, but she saw steady blue eyes watching her with concern. He looked about 25, with a strong build and work-worn hands. "I'm fine, sir," Lily answered, lifting her chin even though she was tired. "I'm heading to Silver Creek." "That's a long walk." "Close to 15 miles yet," the man said. "I know," she replied, continuing forward. She didn't need a stranger telling her what she could handle. To her surprise, the man dismounted and walked beside her, leading his horse. "My name is Hayes Blackwood," he said, tipping his hat politely. "I own the Double B Ranch north of Silver Creek." Lily hesitated before speaking. "Lily Thornton." Hayes raised his brows slightly. "Thornton? Jonathan Thornton's daughter?" Lily's shoulders dropped. Of course he knew her father. Everyone in the area did. "Yes." Hayes let out a slow breath. "I tried to buy cattle from him last spring. He wouldn't hear a word of it. Pride can ruin a man." Lily stayed quiet because she could not argue with the truth. After a few moments of walking in silence, Hayes asked gently, "Why are you out here alone, Miss Thornton?" Something in his voice felt safe, and the truth slipped out. "My father said I was a burden. He told me to leave. He doesn't want me there anymore." Hayes stopped walking. His eyes darkened with disbelief. "He put you out? His own daughter?" Lily kept her gaze on the road. Shame burned her cheeks. "Yes." "That isn't right," Hayes said firmly. "Family is supposed to stand by each other, especially in hard times." "Not all families do," Lily said softly. Hayes studied her for a long moment. Then he stepped forward, holding his horse's reins closer to her. "Please ride. You look exhausted. I'll walk." Lily stared at him. She had been taught to be careful accepting anything from a man. But her feet were sore, and the thought of walking the remaining distance was nearly unbearable. "I can't impose," she whispered. "It's no trouble," Hayes said kindly. "No one should have to walk this road alone." Before she could protest again, he gently lifted her onto the saddle. The horse gave a soft sound, as if welcoming her. "Thank you," Lily said, her voice small. She hadn't felt kindness in so long that it made her eyes sting. As they continued, Hayes asked about her plans. Lily told him she hoped the boarding house would hire her. Hayes nodded thoughtfully. "Mrs. Winters is a good woman, but I heard she hired someone new recently. If she can't take you in, there's work at my ranch. My housekeeper, Mrs. Donnelly, has been asking for help for months. Lily tensed. Working at a ranch run by a young unmarried man could ruin her reputation in one afternoon. I don't think that would be proper. Hayes gave a small smile. Mrs. Donnelly is like a mother to me. She'd never allow anything improper. You'd be safe, Miss Thornton. Lily said nothing. She didn't want to seem ungrateful, but she had to be careful. She had her dignity, even if she had nothing else. When they reached Silver Creek near sundown, people turned their heads to stare. A young woman arriving on Hayes Blackwood's horse was enough to start more than one rumor. Hayes led her straight to the boarding house. Mrs. Winters opened the door with a warm greeting for Hayes, but her face fell when Lily explained she was seeking work. "Oh dear, I just hired another girl 2 days ago," she said. "I don't have room for 2 helpers." Lily felt her last hope wither. She took a shaky breath. "Thank you for your time. I understand." Before she could step back, Hayes spoke firmly. "Miss Thornton will come to the Double B Ranch. Mrs. Donnelly needs the help." Mrs. Winters brightened. "The Double B is a respectable place, dear. You'll be safe there." Lily looked between them, her heart racing. The sun was nearly gone. She had nowhere else to sleep, no money for a room, no family to turn to. "If you're certain it won't be a burden," she said quietly. Hayes shook his head. "You won't be a burden to anyone." They rode out of town together. This time Lily had no choice but to ride in front of Hayes, his arms guiding the reins. She sat stiffly, trying to keep proper space, but she could feel his steady presence behind her. It felt strangely safe. "This isn't proper," Lily murmured. Hayes chuckled softly. "Only if someone sees us. Out here, it's just the sky and the open land, no judgment." The Double B Ranch came into view under the last purple light of sunset. A large home, busy barns, and cattle grazing in the fields showed how well Hayes ran things. A plump woman hurried out as they arrived. "Hayes Blackwood, where have you been? And who's this young lady?" "Mrs. Donnelly, this is Miss Lily Thornton. She needs work. I remembered you saying you could use help." Mrs. Donnelly took one look at Lily's tired face and softened. "Poor thing, come inside and get supper. We'll talk after you eat." The warm smell of stew filled the kitchen. Lily's stomach growled. She couldn't remember the last time someone welcomed her with such care. For the first time in a long time, Lily felt a small spark of something inside her. Hope. Lily woke early the next morning to the soft sounds of ranch life beginning. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then she saw the small but tidy room, the sunlight filtering through the window, and remembered she was at the Double B Ranch. A strange mix of nerves and peace settled over her. She was no longer under her father's roof, yet she felt more safe here than she had in years. She dressed quickly and headed to the kitchen. Mrs. Donnelly was already up, busy kneading dough. "Good morning, dear," she said with a warm smile. "Did you sleep well?" "Yes, better than I expected," Lily replied, rolling up her sleeves. "How can I help?" "Plenty to do. The men will be in soon for breakfast. There's bacon to fry, eggs to scramble, and coffee to make." Lily got to work without hesitation. Cooking came naturally to her. Her mother had taught her well. Soon, the kitchen was filled with the smell of breakfast. As the ranch hands came in, they greeted her politely, thanking her for the food. Lily noticed how Mrs. Donnelly kept a firm but kind tone with them, making sure they showed respect. Hayes entered last, dressed for work, hat in hand. He greeted them with a warm smile. "Morning, ladies. Smells wonderful." Lily looked down to hide the heat rising to her cheeks. She wasn't used to compliments, especially from a man like Hayes. Strong, confident, and respectful, in a way that caught her off guard. "I'm riding out to the north pasture today," Hayes said, pouring coffee. "Wolves have been bothering the calves." After breakfast, Mrs. Donnelly showed Lily around the house. There was laundry, cleaning, mending, and organizing. Lily listened carefully, wanting to do well. She didn't want to disappoint the first people who had shown her kindness in a long time. "You mentioned you can handle numbers?" Mrs. Donnelly asked later. "Yes, My mother insisted I learn. Lily smiled softly at the memory. Well, Hayes needs help with ranch accounts. His handwriting looks like chicken scratch. When Lily sat down with the ranch records that afternoon, she saw exactly what Mrs. Donnelly meant, but the books were organized well enough to fix. When Hayes walked in and saw her working, he paused. "You're already helping with the accounts?" he asked, impressed. "It needed attention," Lily said simply. "Your system is good, but I can make it easier to track." Hayes looked at her with genuine respect. "I'd appreciate that, truly." The days turned into a steady routine. Lily prepared meals, cleaned, helped with laundry, and worked on ranch accounts. She learned the ranch hands' names, and they grew used to seeing her around. They treated her kindly, especially after she nursed a few of them who fell ill with a fever. She had a gentle way that reminded them of family they missed. 2 weeks after she arrived, Hayes walked into the study one afternoon, his expression serious. He set a newspaper on the desk. "There's news about your father." Lily felt her heart tighten. The article said he had sold the Thornton Ranch to a mining company and left the territory. It was a short piece, but enough. "He sold it," Lily whispered. "My mother's land, our home, gone." "I'm sorry," Hayes said softly. Her throat burned. He hadn't just cast her out. He had erased her future. That ranch was supposed to be hers one day. Instead, her father had walked away from everything, including her. "He didn't even say goodbye," Lily whispered. Hayes moved closer, pulling a chair beside her. "Lily, his choices are his. None of this is your fault. Any man with sense can see your worth." She blinked back tears. "I have nothing now. No home, no family, no name." "That isn't true." Hayes's voice was warm but firm. "You have a place here for as long as you want it. Mrs. Donnelly already thinks of you as the daughter she never had. The men respect you, and you've done more to improve this ranch in 2 weeks than most could do in months." Lily looked up, surprised by the strength in his voice. He wasn't just offering comfort, he meant every word. "You're worth more than all his land," Hayes said quietly. "Anyone with sense can see that." Lily's breath caught. No one had ever spoken about her that way. That night, Lily lay awake, thinking of Hayes's words. She had known him only a short time, yet he treated her with more respect than her own father ever had. Part of her wanted to trust him, but fear whispered that men only showed kindness when they wanted something in return. Still, she could not ignore the warmth she felt when he was near. As spring arrived, the ranch changed with the season. Calves filled the pastures. Wildflowers colored the open fields. Lily found a sense of belonging she had never known. Hayes continued to treat her with kindness and respect. Sometimes he joined her and Mrs. Donnelly for supper. Other times they sat in the study, talking while she mended clothes or wrote notes in the account ledger. He listened to her thoughts as if they mattered. He sought her ideas and often used them. One afternoon, Hayes approached with a small package wrapped in leather. "I brought you something from town." Lily opened it and found a beautiful journal and good quality pens. She touched the smooth cover with gentle fingers. "I noticed you writing on scraps of paper at night," he said. "Mrs. Donnelly told me you like to write stories. I thought you deserved something better." Lily's chest tightened with emotion. "This is too fine a gift." "Not for you," Hayes said. "Consider it thanks for what you've done for the ranch." Her voice shook slightly. "Thank you. I will treasure it." Hayes looked almost nervous then. "There is something else. The town is holding a Founders' Day dance this Saturday. Mrs. Donnelly and I are attending. We hoped you would come with us." Lily blinked. A dance. It had been years since she had been to anything social, and she had nothing suitable to wear. Hayes seemed to read her thoughts. "Mrs. Donnelly arranged for the seamstress to visit tomorrow to make you a dress. Please say yes. You deserve a night to enjoy yourself." His hopeful expression made it hard to refuse. "I would be honored to join you," she said softly. Hayes's smile lit his whole face. "Good. I look forward to it." As he walked away, Lily held the journal to her chest, a warmth blooming inside her, both terrifying and thrilling. Just when her life had been falling apart, something new had begun. Saturday arrived bright and warm, and Lily stood before the mirror in her new blue dress, hardly recognizing herself. The soft cotton suited her figure, and the lace at the collar and cuffs added a touch of grace she had not felt in years. Mrs. Donnelly styled her hair with care, letting soft waves frame her face. "You look lovely, dear," Mrs. Donnelly said. "Hayes won't know where to put his eyes." Lily blushed. "It is only a dance." Mrs. Donnelly raised a brow. "Of course it is." When Lily stepped into the parlor, Hayes was waiting. He stood tall and handsome in a dark suit, his hat in his hands. When he saw her, his breath seemed to catch. "Miss Thornton," he said softly, "you look beautiful." "Thank you," she replied with shy warmth. "You look very handsome." They rode into town together with Mrs. Donnelly. The town hall had lanterns strung across the ceiling, music playing, and neighbors greeting one another with cheer. People stared when Hayes walked in with Lily on his arm, some curious, some whispering, but many smiling at their arrival. Mrs. Donnelly made introductions, proudly telling everyone about Lily's hard work and good character. Lily received friendly welcomes. For the first time in a long while, she felt seen, not for what she lacked, but for who she was. Hayes asked her for a dance, and Lily's heart fluttered as he guided her across the floor. He moved with surprising ease, his hand steady at her waist. Being close to him felt natural, safe, and exciting all at once. After a few lively dances, Lily stepped outside for air. The night sky glittered with stars. Hayes soon joined her, standing beside her at the porch railing. "Did you enjoy yourself?" he asked. "Very much," Lily said honestly. "More than I expected." Hayes looked at her with warm eyes. "These past months, having you at the Double B has been the best part of my days." Lily's heart beat faster. She opened her mouth to speak, but before she could respond, someone called Hayes back inside. They returned to the dance, but Lily felt the unfinished words hanging between them. Later, when the music slowed and lanterns dimmed, Hayes found her again. He walked her outside beneath the quiet sky. "I wanted to finish what I started to say earlier," he said. "Lily, I care for you, deeply. I don't expect an answer now, but I hope one day you may care for me as more than an employer." Lily's voice trembled. "I already do, but I fear I have nothing to offer. No family, no dowry, not even a good name after what my father." Hayes gently took her hands. "You offer more than you know. You bring kindness, wisdom, and strength. Those are worth more than land or money." The air between them grew still, full of feeling. Slowly, giving her time to pull back, Hayes leaned closer. Lily lifted her face, and their lips met in a soft, tender kiss. Her heart seemed to rise like a warm sunrise inside her. When they returned to the ranch that night, Mrs. Donnelly went inside to rest. Hayes helped Lily down from the wagon, his hand lingering in hers. "Good night, Lily," he said softly. "Good night, Hayes," she whispered, using his name without formality for the first time. His smile at that moment settled warm in her heart. The next morning, raised voices woke Lily. She hurried downstairs to find Hayes and Mrs. Donnelly speaking with a dusty, tired-looking man. Lily stopped in shock. "Father." Jonathan Thornton stood in the parlor, thinner, worn, and pale. He looked at Lily with shame in his eyes. "I came to ask your forgiveness, Lily," he said. "I was wrong to cast you out. I lost everything after I sold the ranch. I left for California, but I failed. Got sick, starved, slept in barns. I thought of you every day. I came back to tell you I am sorry." Lily stood still, remembering the pain he had caused, the cruel words, the way he had thrown her away. Part of her wanted to turn him out the same way he had done to her. Before she could respond, Jonathan pulled something from his pocket. A small book. Her mother's Bible. "I kept this," he said, voice shaking. "It's all I have. Your mother would want you to have it." Lily held the Bible in her trembling hands. Memories of her mother's voice, her gentle love, washed over her. Jonathan stood to leave. I don't expect to stay. I just needed to speak the truth. Hayes stepped forward, looking at Lily first. When she gave a small nod, he spoke. Mr. Thornton, we need a ranch hand. The bunkhouse has a bed. If you're willing to work hard and keep Lily's comfort first, you can stay. Jonathan looked stunned. You would give me work? After everything I did? Everyone deserves a chance to change, Hayes said. But your actions will prove if your apology is real. Jonathan met Lily's eyes with remorse. I will learn it. In the weeks that followed, Jonathan worked hard. He kept his distance at first, but little by little, Lily saw true change. He helped younger ranch hands, stayed humble, and read her mother's Bible every night. Slowly, a bridge formed where a broken road had been. Meanwhile, Lily and Hayes grew closer. Their feelings deepened into something steady, real, and life-changing. One evening, Hayes asked Lily to ride with him. They stopped at a hill overlooking a quiet valley. He took her hands, his voice sincere. Lily, I love you. I can't imagine my life without you. Will you marry me? Quote. Tears filled Lily's eyes. Yes, yes, I will. He placed a delicate ring on her finger. It had belonged to his mother. They kissed as the sunset wrapped around them like a blessing. Their wedding months later was simple and full of joy. Jonathan walked his daughter down the aisle, tears in his eyes, as if returning the piece of his heart he had once thrown away. When Hayes spoke his vows, promising to love, cherish, and honor her, Lily knew she had finally found home. Years passed. The ranch grew. Their love grew. They built a family filled with laughter, warmth, and dignity. Everything Lily once feared she would never have. She often thought of the day on the dusty road when she had walked alone with nothing. Instead, she found a new life, a new family, and a love that valued her beyond measure. One quiet evening, sitting on the porch with Hayes, she rested her head on his shoulder. Do you ever think about how we met? She asked. Hayes smiled and kissed her forehead. I think I found a treasure the day I saw a tired young woman walking alone. I'm just grateful she let me walk beside her. Lily smiled softly. My father called me a burden. Hayes turned to her, eyes full of love. You were never a burden. You are worth more to me than all the land in this world. And under the vast western sky, with love stronger than the winds that once tried to break her, Lily finally believed it.